Hello YouTube and welcome to this video review. Today I will present you one novelty from Bosch, the all-new Bosch Professional GDH 117 temperature and humidity meter, or as Bosch calls it, a thermo-hygrometer. Before showing you the product in details and demonstrating you its operation, I will do something that I haven't done even with Parkside. I will warn you. Please guys, don't buy it, you only waste your money. So, what's behind my warning? Well, let's start with the product data sheet, where you can read durable thermo-hygrometer for precise environmental monitoring. Two words are really bothering me here, durable and precise. Those two cannot go together, and later in this video I will prove it to you. The idea behind this product is quite obvious: to be able to precisely measure the temperature and the humidity in some area. The problem here is that Bosch decided to make the thermo-hygrometer impact, water and dust resistant. No person in the right mind, no engineer, no technician, no specialist of any kind will need a precise, and I'm emphasizing on precise, measurement of the temperature and the humidity in a place where there's a dust, where there's a chance water to hit your measuring device, or where there's a chance to drop the measuring device. I have downloaded few photos from the official Bosch website. This is the device dropped on the floor, covered in dust and mud, and this around it is all water. Who the heck will need a precise measurement of the temperature and the humidity in such place? I think it's a open construction site. And don't get me wrong, I'm emphasizing on precise as the device is advertised exactly as such. The question here is, do you really think that someone at this construction site will ever care whether the temperature is 11 or 11.6 degrees, or that the relative humidity is 75.6%? Well, the answer is no. No one at this construction site will ever care for such preciseness. Another official photo depicting a construction worker doing a precise measurements of the temperature and the humidity in obviously this open construction site. Another official photo, this one looking more trustworthy. A technician, most likely an HVAC, is doing a precise measurements of the temperature and the humidity of the air coming out from this air vent. Everything looks really nice until you open the manual, where you can read that the device requires some time for acclimatization, which at room temperatures can take up to 30 minutes, and if you're bringing the device from outside it can take even up to 60 minutes. I really want to see this guy holding the device in this position for 60 minutes just to be able to do a precise measurements of the temperature and the humidity of the air coming out from this air vent. All of this is due to the fact that Bosch for no reason decided to make the tool durable, impact, water and dust resistant. For the task, Bosch is using a special membrane technology which is encapsulating the temperature and the humidity detector. This membrane is blocking the direct contact with the surrounding air, and it's making the measuring time hideously long. Enough with the small talk, let me present you the product. It comes with really nice carry pouch, and this is how the device looks like. I have to admit, the manufacturing quality is really nice. All edges are rubberized and are acting as a bumper. The protruding part on top is where the detector is located, and if you look closely you can see the special membrane protecting it from dust and water, and in the same time blocking its direct contact with the surrounding air. The device is powered by two AA batteries. It's entirely waterproof, even the battery compartment. You can see the seal over here. Something interesting is that you can replace the AA batteries with a lithium-ion battery pack, which Bosch is selling separately. Let's power it on. It starts really fast, and as you can see it's equipped with 2-inch color display. So what exactly can we monitor? Air temperature, relative humidity, dew point, wet bulb temperature, absolute humidity. This one is really interesting. Unfortunately it's not measured, it's calculated based on the relative humidity. The device is equipped with a detector for relative humidity and temperature. there's no thermoconductive detector for measuring the absolute humidity, which is slightly disappointing. Interesting feature is that you can set low and high threshold for the relative humidity, so when measuring it you can get a better visualization. Excluding that and the color display, the tool is nothing more than a simple temperature and humidity meter, and a really slow one. And not only slow, but absurdly expensive. To prove my point, here is the reputable Fluke 971 temperature and humidity meter. Basically a tool with absolutely the same function. The difference is that Fluke is more expensive, and most importantly, there's no protective membrane on its detector. The two products have almost identical measuring parameters. You can easily check them online, and it can hardly be different as they both are using detectors from the same manufacturer, Sensirion. This will be my test trick. The two devices are attached to each other. Their measuring probes are almost at the same height. Between them is a temperature probe of one really cheap and really simple thermometer. Over there is the garage door. The outside temperature is 11.6 degrees, which is about 4 degrees lower than the inside, which, as you can see, is about 16.3 degrees Celsius. I will open the garage door, and the idea is to monitor how fast each one of the thermometers will reflect the change in the temperature. Like I said, Bosch is hideously slow. This cannot be classified as a hand tool. This is a stationary thermometer. The 2 euros Chinese thermometer is light years ahead. The next experiment will be really close to what Bosch is advertising, measuring the temperature and the humidity of the air coming out from this ceiling air conditioner. The starting temperature is almost identical, same goes for the relative humidity. Let's see how much time will it take for Bosch to reflect the change in the temperature when I bring the three devices in the airflow of the air conditioner. Let's begin. You can see how fast Fluke is reflecting the change in the air temperature, followed by the cheap Chinese thermometer, but Bosch is still at 22.9 degrees. Bosch is almost 15 degrees behind. my hand is already getting tired. It's simply absurd if Bosch thinks that someone will hold their device up in the air like this for, let's say, 10 or 15 minutes. Let's put the three devices inside the fridge for about a minute, where the temperature should be 4 degrees Celsius. One minute and 45 seconds later, you can see Fluke almost successfully reflected the change in the temperature, while Bosch is still at 20 degrees. The Chinese thermometer is at about 7 degrees. Finally, it's time to share some information about the detectors used in the devices. Both of them are manufactured by the Swiss company Sensirion. On Fluke, the detector is SHT30 and it costs about 3 euros. Alongside the SHT30, Fluke is using a second sensor, an NTC thermistor. On the other hand, Bosch is using a detector from the fourth and latest generation of detectors manufactured by Sensirion, the SH41, which again costs about 3 euros. By the way, I'm sure it will be interesting to lots of you to find out that even Parkside is using detectors from Sensirion, and more specifically the SHTC3 model, which is a detector from the third generation, quite similar to the one on Fluke, but with worse response time and less capabilities. And Sensirion is one hell of a company, really serious manufacturer. If you visit their website, you can find datasheets not only for specific products, like the one you see here, for the third generation and the fourth generation temperature and humidity sensors. You can see this datasheet is 22 pages. The other is 24 really comprehensive datasheets, but you can also find a transition guide or a comparison guide between the third and the fourth generation of detectors. Maybe I should start with the size. The fourth generation is much smaller and it has a smaller temperature inertia, meaning that it has a better response time. You can see on the third generation is greater than 2 seconds, on the fourth is exactly 2 seconds. Same goes for the response time about the humidity. The condition is tau 63, meaning that achieving 63% of the humidity step function. So for the third generation is 8 seconds, for the fourth is 4 seconds. A really huge difference here. Why I'm saying all of this? On theory, Bosch should be lightning fast, it should kick the ass of Fluke, but in the real life it's not like this. And the main reason for this, except for Fluke having a second sensor, an NTC thermistor, probably used for faster temperature reading, is this special membrane used by Bosch for protecting the Sensirion sensor and blocking its direct contact with the surrounding air. At the end of this video, I will repeat myself once again: don't buy this bullshit. Or if I change it a bit to reflect the popular "like a Bosch" commercial, it will be: don't buy this Bosch shit. Bye guys, and see you soon.